All right, ladies and gentlemen,
There we go.
inside the IFL, episode 30. Ed Ritter, unfortunately, was unavailable today due to some family issues he had to take care of, nothing of concern. So, therefore, of 80 plus members of our Slack, Mr. Dar has decided to step up and take on the role of co host with me today. So, Alex, appreciate you stepping up.
I appreciate being here.
So, last week, we'll jump right into last week's situation and games and what have you. It was a busy 10th or 11th week of the season, rather. I don't know why I said 10. We saw some decent games and whatnot in other games. But to recap, week 11 real quick, Arizona Outlaws took out the Pack. The Boston Liberty.
And clinched a playoff spot in the process.
Yes, and the Boston Liberty shuts out the Kitsune 6-0. The Flight comes back to stun the Cobras, who looked like they were well on their way to victory, and the Bulls were able to beat the Stallions. I think all those games went according to what people considered, except for the Kitsune Liberty game. So it leads us into week 12, where we have a bunch of good games. You got the Pack at the Stallions, the Liberty at the Cobras, the Kitsune at the Flight, and the Bulls at the Outlaws. And I'll be getting into the schedule and where things are going to be and how they're going to be and who's playing who, when, where, and how.
This is the free money, basically.
Okay.
You now have $37.02 on it. So if you want to order something, use this first.
Got ya.
Okay.
Sorry, had to take care of some family thing there.
But you always have to know how much money's on it.
Got ya.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom. Love ya.
So the games this week, which ones piqued your interest the most?
Out of all of them?
Mm-hmm.
Not to be biased here, but the Kitsune Flight game.
Yeah.
Just because I think that's going to be a really tight game. Both teams have really good defenses. I want to see if the Flight can shut down the Ramos Slim spread, as it's been coined by Chris Davis. And I honestly think the key players in that one are going to be the running backs, Kadeem Wilcox and Duncan Northrup.
Strong possibility. It's a very strong possibility. I know that game possibly more than any of the others. Well, definitely I believe that one more than the others has a big implication as far as the playoffs go. Because there's a strong possibility whoever loses that game could lose their shot into the playoffs. That is a strong possibility. So that's the one thing I find very interesting. And speaking of playoffs and standings, I'm going to get into that right now. The Arizona Outlaws, as a result of their win, clinched a playoff berth. They are now 10-1, and they are in first place of the league. The Baltimore Bulls improved to 8-3, and they are currently seated number 2. The Philadelphia Flight is third at 6-5. The Tokyo Kitsune is fourth at 6-5. So this week, you have 1 playing 2 and 3 playing 4. And then you got the number 5, Carolina Pack at 5-6. The Boston Liberties in 6th at 4-7. The New York Cobras are in 7th at 3-8, and the Stallions pick up the rear at 2-9. So the 5th team in the standings is taking on number 8, and the 6th plays a 7. So when you look at the situation as is, and you look at the games and who's playing who and who's what, nothing changes between the Bulls and the Outlaws. And win or lose, they remain first and second in the league no matter what happens in the other games, which is why I believe you're getting a little bit more talk on the Kitsune Flight game, because at the end of the day, whoever loses that game, if they go to 6-6 and the Pack wins and they go to 6-6, the Pack could leapfrog both of them. I have to double check all the scheduling, but I'm looking at it now. The Pack, yes, the Pack have to play the Cobras and the Liberty and the Stallions left. That's their 3 remaining games. And I believe they're 1-1 on the season against both the Flight. I'm double checking it all now. Let's see. They lost to the Bulls and beat the Bulls, I believe. I could be wrong on that. No, they lost to the Bulls twice. Not that that matters. I don't even know why I'm looking at the Bulls. They beat the Kitsune in week 9. And I believe they beat the Kitsune. Kitsune won in week 2. So they're 1-1 against the Kitsune. And they beat the Flight in week 3. And then I believe in week 10, they beat the Flight again, if I'm not mistaken. I actually don't have the score for that one wrote down because I'm a little behind because of things going on in the personal life, and I'm a one-man crew for the most part. So what I'm saying and what I'm getting at is points. Points scored is going to be a major thing because if we have a tie in the standings and it's head-to-head tie, records are tied, the next tiebreaker is points scored, and the Carolina Pack lead the Flight and the Kitsune in points. So that's where it could get to very, very interesting. That's where a team like the Boston Liberty, if the Boston Liberty win out, which is very possible because any team has a shot at winning. Now, they're going to have a long road ahead of them because the Liberty's got the Cobras. Then the Liberty's got the Pack, and the Liberty's got the Flight. But they can beat all these teams. You know, anybody can win in this league. This is what we love about this league. They could jump to 7-7, but because of their early season struggles, they're last in the league in points scored. They only have 135 points scored on the entire season. 135, but they have the third best points allowed at 267. They're only behind the Flight at 247 and the Outlaws at 210. Everybody else has a worse scoring defense allowed in the league than the Liberty. So their early season offensive struggles is what's going to put them behind the 8 ball. They're going to need the Pack to go something in 8 to jump them. And then you have the Flight and the Bulls. The Flight and the Kitsune. They have to beat these teams. The Kitsune, if they lose the rest of their games, they go to 6-8. The Flight loses the rest of their games, they go to 6-8. These things are possible. So the Liberty have a small, slim chance of sneaking in talks with Bo Davis personally. He's happy with the turnaround of the team. He's very excited about where the direction the team is going because they're highly improved compared to the beginning of the season. But he himself doesn't see them making the playoffs because he's given the Flight, the Kitsune, and the Pack a lot of credit. He believes they'll do what they need to do to win. You know, so like I said, the Flight wins this week. They go to 7-5. The worst they can finish is 7-7, and that's the best the Boston can finish. And they've already lost the tiebreaker because of points. So that's what the Liberty needs. They need one of those teams to lose out, and they have a shot of leapfrogging into the playoffs if they win out, if you can believe that.
That's crazy.
and this was the team that was 8th in the power rankings for weeks. For weeks, dead last. You know, they beat the Stallions and still ended up getting ranked dead last at one point. So they now have 4 wins on the season. And, you know, like I said, this week they won. Last week, the Liberty ended up, they beat the Kitsune in week 11. In week 10, the Liberty ended up playing Baltimore and lost. But in week 9, the Liberty lost. And then they had them couple of wins prior to that. So they were on a roll, and then they got tripped up. Now they're back on the winning ways here. So the question still remains, will they do enough to get in? I say no. I don't think they can.
I agree with you.
And it's unfortunate because they're really, really starting to step up. So, I mean, look out for them next year. I know we got Chisholm and TJ in the chat. Always nice to see those guys. I know I was doing some rambling and whatnot. But also want to point this out as far as the standings go. If the Outlaws win this week, they clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs. That's it. They'll clinch home field advantage. In fact, all they have to do is win one more game the rest of the season, and they'll clinch the home field advantage. Because one more win, the worst they can get is 3 losses. You know, so I believe they'll get it anyway. Now, if the Bulls beat them, they'll have a tiebreak of 1-1. So maybe I'm a little exaggerating on that one. Maybe I jumped the gun on that one. Because if the Bulls win, they'll split the season series 1-1. It goes to points. The Bulls got the points scored. Although the Outlaws have put up 40-plus points in the last 2 weeks, and this was a team that was only scoring 20, 25, maybe touching 30. So they've really found their way in the last couple of weeks. And the defense is just downright ridiculous. So it is what it is.
Yep.
Before I get into Week 12 games, I have a little chit-chat on it. I do want to make one announcement as far as the league goes, and this is concerning Season 2. Everybody knows we're going to be getting 8 new owners, and has nothing to do with that. It was brought to my attention by a couple owners we currently have and a couple guys who are currently in the running for teams. It was something I didn't do this season, and I probably should have, so that's on me. My apologies to everybody. But next season, 4 team owners submit playbooks. I am going to go into the editor, create your team. Create the other 7 teams in your conference, and then you will get that roster file given to you minus abilities, minus playbooks. So what I'll do is I'll build the 8 teams, put the abilities into play, so it alters all the things that we needed to be altered, save it. Then I'm going to go back in, remove the abilities, resave it, send it to the 8 owners in that particular conference, and then, of course, go back into my own file and add the abilities back to the file. So the owners will then have the opportunity to go to the team player page, see the 6 abilities that are available for each individual player, and do their best to guess what abilities are being used by each and every team. So this way it makes it a lot easier for teams next season for scouting and preparing for the game and things of that nature. And again, I should have did it this season. I had forgotten to, and that's on me. Rookie season mistake, and we have been growing and learning as we go. So, yeah, I see Chisholm likes the idea. I knew he'd love that one. I know that was something he was looking for this year with the Cobras. So hopefully he's excited about the idea because he himself plans on taking on a team. We have not talked about that yet, but he is definitely in the running. And since I'm mentioning the running of potential owners, this is not counting today's points because I update the points once a day, and I'll go through and I will get the points tonight before I head to work as I go to work this evening. The point standings are as follows. Alex Dar's in first. King Cannon is in second. Mighty RX is in third. Mark Chisholm is in fourth. Thomas W. Goodhart is in fifth. Maurice Spurgeon is in sixth. Marcus Bose is in 7. And Alvin J. Cotton, who again is new to the league, is in 8th. And then you got DW6 Killer, Charlie Monk, the Capone triplets. They're the next 3 on the outside looking in. And I'll say this for the Capones. I did get the couple of suggestions you had sent me. I'm going to run a couple of those by Ed and Mr. Davis later today or tomorrow. As a result of you making said suggestions, you are entitled to some points. So I can say those points right now will jump the Capone triplets over Alvin J. Cotton. So, that's if Mr. Cotton gets online and does some things and what have you. And other guys are earning points right now because they're in the chat room. Like Chisholm just earned some points by tuning in to this podcast right now. Yeah, so that's how we do that. I plan on really, really trying to get some people involved as far as learning about this league. I might release like some trivia and stuff and have guys answer trivia to score points and shit, just to see who's paying attention, who isn't paying attention, and make it that it might be something you can't research. You had to be there to see it.
And I just tweeted out that we're live, so.
There you go. That's more points for you. I know Cody was talking about he's going to be joining Philadelphia. Again, until next season comes, that's not set in stone because he has the opportunity to change his mind at any time. I know I had preliminary talks with Mighty. He seemed to not be in the light of wanting to be an owner, but you never know. So some of these guys that are out of the top 10 might have the opportunity to sneak into ownership because some of the top 8, or top 8 rather, not 10, might not want those spots. So it's going to get interesting. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Thanks. Season's been great. I appreciate it, TJ. I'm doing my best. Again, I don't have the glitz, the glamour, the hoopla, but I'm trying my best with shows like this, putting together the on-field product. Kudos to Mr. Davis for spending hours playing with sliders and this, that, and the other. So we figured out what we thought was the best way to provide the best on-field product. I take a couple hours every week to search the internet for other simulation football leagues, and just see what leagues do sim stuff. And I find a bunch. Majority of them are using Madden. You find some that do NCAA. I've only come across now 4 leagues that use All Pro, and none of them hold a candle to what we do on the field. But we don't hold a candle to some of the other ones for their other stuff that they do. So it's all a matter of what you're into. You want the glitz, the glamour, the graphics, the hoopla, the shabazz. We're not the place for you because we don't have that. We're bland. We might be boring even. But once you turn the games on, nothing's touching what we got. So I'm happy with our on-field product being the premier part of what we have, and I can't keep – I emphasize that like every show because I have to. I take pride in what we've produced. And then we get to add 8 more teams to this. 8 more teams get added to this. And speaking of 8 more teams, we have 3 more weeks till the season is over. Then we go into the playoffs. I'm going to need anybody who is in the running and thinks they have a legit, honest shot at getting a team to probably send me their color code to what they want their team to be. I'm talking city name, team name, color code for uniforms, and the whole 9 yards. Because I'm going to get together with Kyle Walsh if he's available to do it, because he's still dealing with home life and issues right now, things that are going on with him. And my heart always goes out to him in his situation because I've been there, done that, and it sucks. And if not, I'm going to see if I can find an alternate option. But this way, when the teams get announced, we have graphics prepared to show, to post, or whatever it is we're going to do. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do it just yet, but things will get announced. I also want to announce that the All-Star game that we plan on doing. That All-Star game will not happen until I can get caught up on stats. So if anyone can help me with that, great, because then we'll get there even closer. Yeah. I have some stats currently on the website, which help. That puts us that far ahead. It's just I'm so far behind in things right now, and what's going on in personal life at my job. I'm currently training at my job because I'm going to be moving up in positions. The question is to when, but it's probably going to be within the next month, no more than a month and a half. I'll be moving up the ranks, if you will, at my job and being put into a managerial type role. So that's, taking up a lot of my time because I do other things outside of doing it at work. I come home and I have to take tests and things like that online because they don't play games when it comes to who's in charge and what they do at their job. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. So,
and considering I'm hoping to get a job myself.
So, and there's other news that I'm hoping I can make here shortly. I've been working on some things now for, a month, maybe longer. One of them was even before the season started, and nothing came of it. Now, recently, things have come up, but it's nothing set in stone just yet. I'm doing my best to make things happen for this league to grow and to be better. But one thing I know is no one has ever complained about our product. I've openly admitted straight up that our product's not better than some other leagues. And I'm not just referring to leagues that use the same brand of game. I'm talking just in general. Like take Schmitty. He has a hell of a product. He gets to put up the little intros and the outros and the graphics, and it's like, shit, I can't compete. But I've told Schmitty left and right, I believe our on-field product is better. What I want to do is be able to get into that area and to be able to provide graphics and do that. But I'm absolutely clueless when it comes to that stuff. And basically, in better terms, I'm an idiot. So I need to find somebody who can help me do said things. Also, guys, I'm going to double check my software here and do what I need to do. If I can get this thing to upload, it did upload. This is what's aggravating. I had games uploaded and they worked just fine. Then all of a sudden, just recently, the laptop didn't want to upload a game for the life of it. So I don't know what I need to do to it. So I plan on looking into it. But if I can get it to work and I can upload games as I want, all playoff games will be uploaded by me, aired by me, and called by me. That's right.
Cool.
I will be doing the commentary for the games as long as I can get it to upload the way I think I should. And that's going to take some time to figure out what the issue is. I don't know why it's doing it because, like I said, it wasn't doing it at first, and all of a sudden, the system took the shits. I don't know what happened. So maybe I messed up a setting somewhere or something. I don't know, but I have several weeks to get it taken care of. So I'm hoping to at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks to do it. But I plan on calling games. And the one guy everybody's used to calling games is Mr. Irvine. I won't be on his level. I won't call a game his way, not even close. And everybody knows Mr. Destro. We all heard how he'd be the trash truck. You can rest assured I'll probably be what would we call in between the two of them. I'll have that professional feel / the dump truck feel. So I'm not going to be your everyday cuss every second. That's not going to be my way. And I'm not going to be the sound like I belong on TV guy either because I'm not on that level. But I'm going to be the average Joe, kind of like if you're sitting in the living room with me and we're playing the game together and I decide to call the game myself while we're playing. And that's pretty much probably where I'm going to fall in at. So hopefully all this works out and all this comes through. However good I sound now is pretty much where the audio would be during the game because I'm using the exact same microphone now that I would be if I called the games. So I'm thinking that might be a good thing. So hopefully I'm clear all the time on this show. And I did do an audio test on this channel not that long ago, testing it. And I know Alex was one of the first people to get in touch with me and said it sounded clean and clear to him. I listened to the playback and it sounded the same to me. So I think we're in business. Again, as long as I can get it to upload. Because I have a family. My computer happens to be pretty much in the living room. And I'm not about to kick the wife and the kids out of the room and say, you got to go hang out in a bedroom somewhere so I can call a video game. That would be absurd.
Yeah.
I need to put the wife, the kids, my family, my other half, however you want to word it, they need to be put first. And there's my daughters showing up in the chat saying, love you, Dad, from their YouTube channel. So that was unexpected. They're in their bedroom right now. Actually, when I do the podcast, they're either outside or in their bedroom. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's great.
That's awesome.
All I know is whichever one of them posted that, you better click on the channel and make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Oh, man.
And like it, too. Like the stream.
There you go. Click that thumbs up. Oh, boy. That was totally random. I didn't expect to happen. But all right. Power rankings. I want to get into the power rankings now real quick. I don't get power rankings from hardly anybody ever, which is getting on my nerves. So they might be discontinued next season. This was the worst week ever for the power rankings. And I do mean ever. It was a shame. When I say ever, I mean ever, ever, ever the shame. Because no one really sent them in but 3 people. Okay, I got distracted there for a second. All right. So based on the few people that sent it to me, the power rankings were real simple. So I'm just going to go in reverse order and throw them out real quick. Number 8, this is the Tampa Bay Stallions. Number 7 is the New York Cobras. Number 6 was the Boston Liberty. Number 5 is the Tokyo Kitsune. Number 4 is the Carolina Pack.
Tokyo's 5.
Number 3 is the Philadelphia Flight. Number 2 is the Baltimore Bulls. And the Arizona Outlaws were number 1. Tokyo, I'm guessing, took a small slip just because they lost 6-0 to the Liberty. It made sense to me after I had up and thought about it for a second. I said, okay, I can get it. I can get it. Plus, Tokyo has already lost to Carolina, and they're ahead of them. And they've lost to Philadelphia. They're ahead of them. So at least it carries some weight, and it's not going to be too much of an argument. So, but yeah, it was nice to see. She literally said I subbed already like she's 15 years old. Oh, my goodness. I have no idea what to say right now about my kids. This is too funny. So that's the power rankings. Now we're going to get into the games this week and where they stand and where they're at and what we see and what we have. And I'll go and start with the 5 and 6 pack are at the 2 and 9 Stallions. Currently, based on the pick'em, the pack lead 8-6, which to me is completely shocking. I cannot say for the life of me why the Stallions have 6 votes, but they do. Although the Stallions did play well last week against the Bulls, so we'll see. We'll get into these games. The Liberty are 4 and 7. They're at the 3 and 8 Cobras, and the Liberty have the vote 7-5. The Kitsune are 6 and 5 at the Flight, who are also 6 and 5, and this game is currently knotted at 6 in the pick'em. And the last game is the 8 and 3 Bulls at the 10 and 1 Outlaws, and the Outlaws lead that voting 8-4. So based on the community, they feel all 4 of these games are going to be highly competitive.
You mind me giving you a key to each of them?
I don't care. That's fine. Go for it.
First of all, let me start with the Flight game. The key to the Flight game is whether the Kitsune can shut down Northrop. To me, if they shut down Northrop, they win. Because you know how running back dominated this game is in general when you go CPU. As far as the other 3, I don't really have a opinion on what they can do, but that's it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I look at these games, and I'll just give a quick comment on all 4. It'll take me a second or two. But when it comes to these games, the Outlaws and the Bulls, I think whoever can stop whoever's running game first wins. Because Little John's a beast when he plays. And I say when he plays because he seems to be very injury prone for some reason. And their offense has been very consistent. And the Bulls, as in the Bulls, and the Outlaws' defense has been the most consistent. So to me, that's the other big thing you need to look at. Kitsune and the Flight, it's obvious to me. You stop both running games again. But the Kitsune have an advantage. They can throw the football. The Flight haven't, but that's been by choice. That doesn't mean they can't. So we'll see what they do. Liberty and the Cobras have looked a lot sharper recently, even though they still get losses. But they've eliminated a lot of deep passes if you've watched them recently.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Liberty has gotten better each week, despite losing. They always play better when they lose. And to me, this is a game for the Liberty to lose. They should win this game, in my opinion. And when you look at the Cobras, you can beat them in the air. You can beat them on the ground. But the one thing I've noticed with the Cobras, each week they seem to be very dominant on one side of the defense or over the other, meaning you can throw on them, but you're not running. Or you can run on them, but you're not passing. It's just really weird how that's been happening. So we'll see if the Liberty makes the right choice.
Yeah, I agree.
And as far as the Pack and the Stallions, That's no disrespect to Jax Diamond and the Stallions, despite playing well against the Bulls. I really analyzed this game, and I just can't figure out a way for them to win this. The Pack, they showed last week that when they run the football, they're dangerous. More dangerous than we thought they could be because they've been a passing team. You know, we all know where Allen comes from, and he's from the T. Paternity School of Passing, and that's what he's been using. But when that team showed they can run the football, they looked like a team that'd be hard to deal with. So either way, whatever attack they use this week, I just don't think the Stallions have enough to pull anything out in this one.
I kind of agree with you there.
Catching up, see if anything's going on in the chat. No comments, no nothing. So do you want to give me your winners for these games? I'll ask you. Pack, Stallions, who you taking?
I'm taking the Pack. That offense is just way too good. That offense is just way too good.
Yeah, I'm on the Pack train too. All right, Liberty at the Cobras.
Liberty at the Cobras might go overtime, but I have the Cobras winning it, although King Cannon is very inconsistent.
Right. He threw no interceptions last week. So I'll say this, though, about that game. I'm picking the Liberty over the Cobras, but this is one of those games I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other direction. All right. You got to give me your unbiased opinion because I know you play for the Flight. But the Kitsune at the Flight?
I think the Kitsune are going to pull it out. The Flight don't have enough offense. Plain and simple.
Okay. And the last game?
Plus, that Ramos-Lynn spread is deadly.
And the last game will be the Bulls at the Outlaws.
As crazy as this might be a tie.
Well, you said we might have a tie. You also said we might have an overtime game. We've had 11 weeks, and we've yet to have an overtime game. So, who knows?
Yep. Who knows, indeed.
Exactly. I'm writing down some quick information here because I have some things I need to announce. Like I said, I'm going to be getting to that. Okay. All right. I'm just double checking which games are playing when. So I'm going to announce the schedule now. And this is based off the game of the week information, who's playing who and who's playing what, when, where, and how. So based on the tallying and the voting and what have you, the Bulls and Cobra game, shockingly enough, because it's 1 versus 2, didn't get the most votes. Instead, the game of the week this week, which will air this Friday at 8 p.m. live, you have the Kitsune at the Flight.
That's nuts. I did not expect that.
I don't think many people did. But 8 p.m., Kitsune at the Flight, live right here on this channel on YouTube. So it takes me to Saturday. Saturday at 1 o'clock. Saturday at 1 o'clock on YouTube, live, ladies and gentlemen, live. You will see the Liberty at the Cobras. So that gives us Kitsune Flight on Friday at 8 p.m. and at 1 p.m. on Saturday, Liberty at the Cobras. Saturday at 4 p.m. live on YouTube, the Pack at the Stallions. How about that?
Cool. So we're going full on YouTube as far as this goes.
Now this means the last game will be the Bulls and the Outlaws. Now when I look in the chat room right now, I've seen Mighty. I've seen yourself. I've seen TJ. I've seen Chisholm. I want you gentlemen to pick right now when this game's going to happen, and I'm going to give you the option, and I will wait for a response. These games can happen this Saturday at 8 p.m. live, Sunday in the afternoon. I'm talking somewhere between a 1 and 4 start, or Sunday night at 8 o'clock.
I'd rather have it be Sunday night at 8 o'clock because primetime football, bitches.
Well, you get a Sunday game at 8, or you get a Saturday game at 8, or you can go with that Sunday afternoon game. So So TJ says Saturday, 8 p.m. live, and I will take his opinion a little stronger than the rest of you guys, be honest, because he happens to own one of these teams. Mighty's saying 8 o'clock as well. I got a hunch with the both of them, since they're both Bulls, they might be busy Sunday in another league, which I need to respect that. Well, you know what? If we do the Saturday game at 8, then it'll be the first time we've had a triple header. It'll be the first time in league history we've had a triple header, 3 games in one shot. So you know what? Let's do it. Friday, 8 p.m., Kitsune at the Flight. Saturday at 1 p.m., Liberty at the Cobras. Saturday, 4 p.m., Pack at the Stallions. Saturday, 8 p.m., Bulls at the Outlaws. All 4 games will be run by yours truly, live on YouTube. No pre-recorded, nothing. So there's your schedule.
Awesome. And I honestly wish I could do commentary for one of those games, but
Yeah, I feel the same way. I wish I could, but I can't. At least not yet, because school's not in. I'm typing up the schedule right now for people, so they know. That's Kitsune. Make sure I had that right. Kitsune at the Flight. Another thing I love about this league is the members determine our schedule. I don't pick and choose.
true.
I let it up to everybody in their voting.
And guys, make sure to share the games out when they happen.
Give me 1 second.
And again, if you haven't already, make sure to like the stream. So
Yeah, make sure you share it. Share the link later, once we go off the air and get people to watch. Yeah, it's kind of exciting, a triple header. I might have to make a graphic for this.
heck, I just downloaded GIMP so I could do it for you.
And
If you want me to.
Yeah, I'm sure now that I said that, a couple people will make them, and then maybe I'll get lucky, and then I get at least a decent one in there somewhere to pick out. This means playbooks were due the other day, so everybody knows, and I got them all in. Those who wanted to make changes, all playbooks were submitted that made their changes. This means since all games will be taking place on Saturday, that all playbooks will be due by the end of Monday, so everyone's aware. I'll just make that announcement here, and I'll make that announcement again during the week. I'm gonna post this here right now in the IFL announcements and the IFL Everyday Chat, IFL Game Chat. I'm gonna post this everywhere I can.
I honestly think for next year, we should be going for our feature games. We should be going prime time.
Well,
Next season.
like I said, all depends on schedule. All right, give me 1 second. If you got something to say it. I gotta grab my daughter for a second.
If you can do it. I'm just. What do you guys think in the chat? Should we go to an all primetime game model or what? Let me know. For the future, at least. Just to keep in mind, we're talking future, not now. I'm going to tell you the advantages and disadvantages of it. The advantages are, I think we'd get more viewers if we do prime time. I think we could steal viewers away from that other hypocrite.
Christ. We're going to be better than that, not go there. But since you kind of brought that up, I do want to make this announcement. It's another announcement I need to make today. And that was Zap Spark IFL. It was brought to my attention that a Doss Williams was entering the broadcast of SFL game or games. I'm not sure exactly what. I didn't get all the details, nor did I care for the details because I was just irritated by the situation. I was totally in the dark as to who this was, wasn't sure, but I did my due diligence to make sure I found out who it was. I stopped at nothing to figure out who the culprit is, and that's the way I do things. So I'm going to toot my own horn here while, slamming on someone else because I need to do that with this situation. The same thing has happened to us more than once. And as far as I feel, nothing has been done to try and solve the issue, to fix the issue. And we continue to deal with it. And when you guys here in the IFL get irritated, you have something to say. Right away, you guys are jumped on, why are you starting drama, when in fact you're responding to the drama. So I didn't want that same thing to happen in the reverse. So when this came to my attention, I was like, well, who's that? And no one seemed to know. I'm like, all right, I'll figure it out. It took me a while to figure it out and do some research and check it out. So when I realized that the new member, and I'm going to say this right here on the air because I will not hold back. I do not sugarcoat. And that's one of the reasons why some people don't like me, because we live in a society of weak people that don't know how to handle facts, truths, and the way it goes. But a Zap Spark IFL just joined the league. Okay. He joined the league on Sunday, I believe it was. I'm scrolling up. Yeah, Sunday, August the 6th. He just joined the league. Now, nowhere in our league has anyone ever mentioned the SFL from the 6th until this just happened. And this was brought to my attention. Let me double check when the message was brought to me. The 7th. So this guy joins the league on the 6th. And in less than 24 hours, he appears in the other league's channel talking shit about them, saying he's a representation and representing this league. So, that being stated, I am suspicious to the situation. I am highly suspicious to the situation. I am, without a doubt, 100% convinced that this is someone joining the league to go into that league to start drama because they're in this league, when in fact, Doss Williams was never really a member of this league. I believe he comes from the other league, distinctly coming to this league, trying to start unnecessary drama again. And I'm very pissed off, very frustrated by the situation, very angered by the situation. And I know some people might get angry.
You should be, and I am too.
they might get angry because I'm making these statements. So to long story short, without sugarcoating it, and naming names, I believe without a shadow of a doubt, Doss Williams is a member of the SFL using an alternate name who joined our league on the 6th. So on the 7th, he could enter that channel and talk shit and be stupid like he was a member of us. Because here's the point. I don't know who he is. No one knows who
Mighty just said he got kicked from the SFL.
Well, good. I don't know who he is. I don't know where he came from. I don't know anything about him. Neither does anybody else. So here's the thing. How does this guy who comes out of the blue, joins the IFL, and immediately knows about SFL drama? It makes no sense to me. It doesn't add up. And the only way it adds up is if this is somebody, okay, who's on the inside of the leagues. I say plural because I will be honest and say, hey, maybe, just maybe, it's one of our current members creating a second account being a jackass. But the thing is, I believe without a shadow of a doubt, guys here in the IFL are not going to do that because I've proven I don't tolerate the shit. Whereas in the other league, when evidence points to a certain direction, nothing's done about it. Support Cam, a.k.a. Andy Hamilton. That's right. I said it right here on the air. Thank you, TJ. That's the way it goes. But things aren't done. Things aren't handled. Things aren't addressed. I don't play the games. I want no drama. Me, drama-free zone. Them, drama is real. Right there gives you a big clue of what's what. I don't need the BS. I don't need the shit. So again, if you were Doss Williams was a guy here, and I find out you have an alternate account here, your ass is gone if I ever put the pieces together. I don't need the shit. You guys can speak your thoughts, speak your opinions, talk your shit, and be men because you're grown adults. But when you deliberately try to create unnecessary drama, that's different. And I think all of you get it. So I was just irritated by it. I went into the Slack today. I booted him from it, and I got rid of his account, froze him up. So he's out. I don't know who he was. Don't know nothing about him. He sent in an application to join the league. Like I said, I got it on, I think it was the 4th or 5th. He officially joined on the 6th. And then by the 7th, he's talking shit over there. I don't want to disrespect what the SFL has, but there's things that they do that just make you shake your head. And if you deny it, then you're entitled to your denials. I don't really care anymore. And it sucks that I'm here again on this show discussing said shit that doesn't need to be discussed because it's unnecessary. And I mean, I'm beyond over it. I actually told Ed last night, I'm to the point where I just want to close up the league and say to hell with it because it's just too much bullshit. The inactivity that I get out of people who proclaim that they are loyal to both leagues is driving me nuts. The fact that guys won't show up to an IFL game, but then they're in an SFL game. If you are committed to that league more than this one, I'm good with that. Just don't lie to me about it. Don't sugarcoat it. Be honest. I'm good with it either way. That's how I am. That's, like I said, that's one of the things that gets me in trouble with people is I'm too honest. That's why our society in the United States is weak. This country is weak. They can't handle somebody coming straight at them with truth, honesty, realism. Oh my God, that's too offensive. That's not politically, suck my politically correct dick. Yeah, I just was saying that, and that's way out of bounds. I just went over the top of that, but that's how frustrated I am. It's just frustrating for me. And please don't ever compare me to Trump, that worthless piece of shit. So, that's how it is. Again, SFL doesn't need our bullshit. We don't need their bullshit. No other league needs our bullshit, and I don't need any other league's bullshit. So again, if you do it, you're gone. If you're a part of any problems, you're gone. You're a part of any issues, you're gone. Now that takes me to the activity thing, which is the announcement I'm going to make. If you saw earlier today, I basically said, stand up, let me know you're here. Had a bunch of responses, and then it went dead. Now, a lot of guys might be at work. I know some people are in school already, busy just in general. But when this season comes to an end, I am going to go into every single channel and write @channel, send me a direct message within the week. Any account that does not direct message me within the week will be disabled. I'm getting rid of them. I'm not hanging on to dead weight just to make it look like my overall numbers are better than they really are. Right now it says we have 87 members. I know of at least 20 to 25 that are currently shown as inactive. Unacceptable. But if those people aren't here, then they're gone. Now, I'm not sure exactly how Slack works. Could you log in and not post and still be shown as inactive, or do you have to post something? But that's why, since I'm
on post something, but
right, and so because that's what I'm unsure of. So I don't want to ban a guy. Well, not ban a guy, delete his account, and he's active. He's one of those guys that don't post. I know several guys who are here that don't post. It's just not their way. They don't really care. They just say, whatever. I'm here and I check into things and I watch the games and this, that. I just don't post on the Slack. There might be more guys doing that than I'm aware of, but I'm going to be posting it out. Hey, if you're here, let me know you're here, because if you're not, I'm, disabling the dead weight. I'd rather have a league of 30, 40 solid active people than a league of 87 and over half are inactive. I would just rather do that. I'm happy with a small league. I'm not after numbers. I'm not after subscribers. I'm not after hits. I'm not after views. I'm after the fun of this game that we do. I'm after the fun of what we are doing that we call simulation sports. We're using a quality video game.
After a quality product more than anything.
I mean, we're using a quality video game that has, without a doubt, in my opinion, the best quality on-field play any simulation league on the net has to offer today comes from the IFL. I believe that, bar none, and I don't say it because it's my own league or because I'm biased, blowing smoke up people's ass. I firmly believe it. But I am near the bottom when it comes to all the other shit. I admit that. So again, it takes me to what I was saying earlier today. You can either have the glitz and the glamour or the product, and some people might find both those things somewhere else to fit what they like. And good for them, more power to them, and I hope they enjoy where they're at. But I hope they enjoy all these leagues. That's why I wish I could get together with all the freaking leagues, and have some fun. I know somebody mentioned one time, what if the IFL and the SFL had a joint game where they played against each other? I'm up for it. This is a hobby. Let's have fun with it. It was immediately shot down by Cam. He wanted nothing to do with the idea. Why? What's the problem is what I ask.
I mean, hell, he's already talking about making an SFL 2, possibly.
So it's just like, it's okay. It's all good. I was open to the idea.
Let us be that SFL 2.
But all I know is if anybody hasn't listened to this show from the beginning, listen to the whole thing back. We've been on the air less than an hour. Been on 52 minutes. That's it. So listen to the things we've had to announce. Listen to the things I've had to say, because, I'm a little pissed off right now. Pissed off at assholes trying to start drama. Pissed off at people not knowing how to be active. Say hello once in a while. Let me know you're alive. Show up in the games. Hit the like buttons. Hit these buttons, that buttons that everybody screams and hoots and hollers for. I don't ever really ask for too much. Because, again, I'm just glad people are here. If you're also one of the guys, if you're in this league, by the way, and you're going to SFL games, videos, and you're hitting the thumb down, you're stupid. You're an ass. That's just childish. There's no need for that. You don't like their video, that's fine. You don't have to thumb it down. As much as I dislike, as much as I dislike how they act towards me, and as much as I dislike how Cam treats people and the shade that he is and the bias that he is, he puts in time and effort to put out his product. To thumb it down is just anal, as far as I'm concerned. So, like I said.
Apparently Cody Ewing just popped in.
Apparently Cody's alive. I just wanted to share that. And I can see we had 3 watching. Apparently somebody had their panties in a bunch from what I was saying, because we dropped down to 4. Or now to 3, rather. And it looks as if, to me, we had 4. Cody popped in. We fell to 3. So I think 2 people left because they're probably all upset about what I was saying. But like I said, I'm not the other guy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and blow smoke. There's a difference between me and the other guy. You'll hear me be honest and speak from the heart. And the other guy will tell you everything you want to hear if you listen to his comments. He does the politically correct thing. That's what he does. Always has. Always will. And remember, I'm the guy who did more damage to his league than good. And every damn last one of you know that to be a freaking bold-faced lie. So it's all good. It's all good. Doss Williams was banned for being a jackass because I have respect for the other league to eliminate the culprit. I just wish the favor was returned. And it's not. And it won't be. Because we'll find every excuse under the sun to act like, no, that's not the person. There's no evidence that that's the person. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's as plain as the nose on your face.
True.
But like I said, that's where I'm at. I want active people. I want people who are here. And if not, kiss ass. Kiss my ass is what I want to say and get the hell out. That's how I feel. We got 3 weeks left of this season. We're going to have it with a bang. We're going into the playoffs. Then we're going to move into 16 teams. I got to find me 8 solid owners. And like I said, when I look at my list of owners who are in the running and what have you, I'm excited for those guys. I'm hoping these guys do what they need to do and step up to the plate and become owners. I know, like, again, I mentioned Cody Ewing earlier. Since he's in the chat, he can now hear what I had to say. He's not 100% locked into the flight. That's the current plan, but he can change that plan at any time if he so desires to take on his team. Guys like Mighty and Chisholm.
Top, aren't I?
Yeah, you're on the top. Mighty and Chisholm are sitting there at 3rd and 4. I know these guys are 2 quality owners because of the things they've done with the Swarm and the Storm. God, those names sound too close all the time. It drives me crazy. But those are types of quality people I need to put in place in ownership. But because they're owning teams somewhere else, they're working with other teams here, they might not have the time or maybe even the desire to take on a team, which would suck for us, but such is life, and I'm good with it.
The type of quality people I, as a prospective owner, would want on my staff.
Right. My son's trying to get a team. I don't know if he's ready for that, but we'll see. Thomas W. Goodhart has been going out of his way to get a team recently. He is currently in the running. Maurice Spurgeon, he's already been working and developing potential team. So he's clearly interested in a team, and he's currently in the top 8. I know DW6 Killer and his dad, Charlie Monk, I still find that funny that they're father and son. They're working hard to try and get a team. Right now, they're out of the top 8, the both of them. So I know I have some very active quality guys here who want to have teams. And that's what we need, more stronger competition. I know, like I said, if Mighty and Chisholm got teams, the bar just raised because they're already ahead of the game when it comes to owning teams and dealing with stuff. Whereas a guy such as yourself, Alex, or Cody, or a Thomas Goodhart, and some of the other names I just mentioned, they've never owned a team. So they're going to be in the dark with how to do some things, which might put them behind the 8 ball at first. Or because they don't know what does.
Certain people on my staff that know what they're doing.
Right. But here's the other thing. Because you don't know what you're doing, you might not be behind the 8 ball because you might do things that's unconventional and then discover, well, shit, everybody's been afraid to do this and it works. And now you're actually doing well and no one saw it coming. And that's the one thing about the IFL. We see things here in the IFL work that didn't work in another league. We see things that dominate in another league not work here. So, it goes both ways. It's a whole new atmosphere. The 14 stars, makes a difference. The amount of abilities on each guy makes the difference. The sliders have made a huge difference in overall gameplay. So, and I've said this before, Swing City, dead when it comes to the IFL. Does not exist. Can't do it if you tried. The defenses are just too good because of the way they're built here, the way the game is made here. So, that's where I'm at with it.
And I've even thought of telling like the Sim Standard guys about this league since I pop in on their hangout every once in a while.
There you go. Things like that, little things like that. I mean, I have a lot of you guys on my Facebook, and I never see anybody share a link to the league or mention the league at random. It's normally sharing something I've posted. I have some guys followed on Twitter, the same thing. Do that stuff once in a while. Throw this information out once in a while. Say, hey, you like football? Join this. Check it out. You need questions, I'll help you out. You answer them. And if you can't quite answer a question I have, then send them my way. I get a little depressed because I don't see that, and I don't have that. But like I said, I'm a one-man crew right now. I've had Davis running games for me for weeks. He's come into some busy times right now because it's about that time of the year for him with school and stuff. Ed's been dealing with things when it comes to his kids, so he hasn't been able to help out nearly as much. And that was it. I never expected Kyle to do too much other than, help when needed, and he has pretty much done that. So, that's the way I look at it. It's a one-man show right now, and I'm not going to be able to do everything by myself. And there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to do everything by myself. I need help. That's how you achieve a high standard in this game, is by surrounding yourself with quality people. And some leagues have done that.
True.
Some leagues have done that. So, and that's my goal. I'm working on trying to surround myself with quality people. I'm going to try and get 4 people to help me with stats in season 2. I want one guy to control an entire division. At the end of the week, you get all the stats for that 4 teams and what have you. Hold on one second.
So, who do you guys think are the biggest? I want the biggest shocker of the season. I want the biggest surprise of the season. The biggest thing in the season that made you go, okay, and the biggest thing you're looking forward to in the season. Let me know in the chat.
Yeah, get some more chat action. Yeah, guess now we're down to Oh well. So we're over an hour in of this show, and Almighty's got to take a step out. I think he's at work. So appreciate you tuning in for when you could there, Mighty. It means a lot. So end of the day, I'll repeat the schedule so guys know. So I throw it out here one more time. Friday at 8 p.m., Kitsune at the Flight. Saturday, 1 p.m., Liberty at the Cobras. Saturday, 4 p.m., Pack at the Stallions. And, I'm sitting here saying Saturday, 8 p.m., I'm going to try and do the Bulls Outlaws. I'm going to change that. I'm bumping all these games up because I work Saturday night. So I need to bump that all up. Let me redo this timing because I'm going to need about 2.5 hours for each game tops. And I don't mind ending a game and jumping right into another game. That doesn't bother me none. The 8 o'clock game will stay as planned. We are going to make the Liberty and the Cobras at 12 o'clock. The Pack and the Stallions will take place at 3 o'clock. And the Bulls at the Outlaws will take place at 6 or 7. I'm trying to figure out which way I can do it. You know what? I'm making it 6:30. This way I know I'm playing it safe. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Made small changes. Forgot I worked that evening. Getting a little ahead of myself because I'm thinking I'm going to be off on Saturdays once my schedule changes. That's why I can tell you guys right now, if my schedule changes as far as this promotion I was talking about and everything goes as according to plan, I will have off every Friday and every Saturday night. So in season 2, our games will be aired Fridays and Saturdays, possibly Sunday afternoons. That's I'm unsure of just yet. So, okay. Friday, August the 11th at 8 p.m., Kitsune at the Flight. Saturday, August the 12th at 12 p.m., Liberty at the Cobras. Saturday, August the 12th at 3 p.m., the Pack at the Stallions. And Saturday, August the 12th at 6:30 p.m., Bulls at the Outlaws. And again, if some of these games run over the time to where I can't get the next game started in time, because all 4 games will be live this week. So if those 3 games on Saturday overlap, the next game will be aired almost as immediately as the other one ends, because I'll take the game, I'll end it, I'll shut down the feed, I'll continue to load up the game, create the next game, hit that start button, slide them controllers into the center, hit the resume button, and re-air the game and create a new feed. So it's a triple header this Saturday, with the Kitsune Flight game being the game of the week Friday. And then playbooks will be due Monday night. Monday, I plan on doing an Inside the IFL as long as Ed is available and the schedule works out for the both of us. It's about 3 weeks away from the end of the season. Every game is a playoff game from here on out, pretty much. So it is what it is, gentlemen. Had to make that small edit. I apologize. Okay. Let me post this again here so everybody has it. There we go. All right. Alex, do you have anything else you need to discuss, mention, say? Because if not, we're going to wrap this one up.
Just as I mentioned before, I will spread this to the Sim Standard guys just so they know about it and just so they know what we're up to. Because as much as people don't like Madden in this community, at the end of the day, it's the more relevant game anyway, guys.
Well, it is what it is.
Could you talk quieter, please?
All right. Well, for everybody who's been in the chat, appreciate it. And for the rest of you that will check the replay, appreciate it. Again, thanks you to Alex for being the co-host with me tonight, this afternoon, whatever you want to call it. So, all right, Dan. For Alex Starr, I'm Doug Bose. This was another episode of Inside the IFL. We'll catch you in a few days. Later.
See ya.